Welcome, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. My name is Michelle Rapp from the Office of Alumni Relations, and I am the Associate Director of Alumni Career Strategy. So I put on these kinds of programs, and I'm always interested in your ideas of what will support you in your career growth. I'm really excited to have Amy Salinger joining us for today's webinar from New York City, where she'll offer great fashion advice for women and men. She did a wonderful Styling for Success event for alumni in New York City with us about a year and a half ago in 2016. So we're really excited to have her come back and use this webinar format so we can reach more people. I want to start off by telling you a little bit about Amy. She is a nationally recognized fashion maven and has been featured as an expert and cast member on the Lifetime series $1 Million Shoppers about high-end personal stylists. She has also styled for television shows such as The Oprah Winfrey Show, TLC's What Not to Wear, and The Makeover Story. Amy has been featured as an expert in the pages of the New York Times, People Style Watch, In Style, Real Simple, The Wall Street Journal, and Life and Style. All of her style knowledge is available for any fashion junkie on her blog and web series, sassandstyle.com, and her website, amysalinger.net. She's also a proud alumna and has a BS in Communication Studies from the College of Arts, Media, and Design. We look forward to learning from her today.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. I'm Amy. Nice to meet everyone virtually. I'm waving at you. You can't see me, but that's what I'm doing. Yes, I am a super proud alumni, 2002 of Northeastern. Greatest experience ever. I like to say it was one of the best decisions I've ever made, and it allowed me to really dive into all different types of jobs through the co-op program and figure out that I was not made for an office, and therefore I made up a profession, and I am now a personal stylist running my own business in New York City, where there is no such thing as an office. Department stores and people's homes, working with my private clients, as well as television studios, are what I consider my office. So a little bit different. Today, I am going to try and make this as easy as possible for you guys, because the way I like to explain things to people as far as fashion goes is it really isn't rocket science. There is logic behind what I do. Obviously, people say, oh, well, you're either born with it or you're not. And I can let you know 100%, I was not born with this. This is something that I learned over the years. I followed friends of mine who did seem to have this innate sense of style, and I am very good at picking up tips and kind of following through by trying things out on myself and on others, and eventually getting to this place where I like to call myself an expert, as this slide suggests. I've been doing this for 15 years, so I do have quite a bit of experience. And my forte, and this is important going into today, is working with quote unquote real people. Yes, it is lovely doing fashion, photo shoots. Sure. I mean, everything looks good on a model. That's why they're a model. But the reality is that we are not all built that way, thank God. And I like to show people how to, basically look like $1 million and feel confident no matter what their body type, budget, or lifestyle, which we will definitely discuss today. I do want to say that a lot of the images on here are definitely pulled from a place where the pictures are of models, but that doesn't mean you need to look like these models for them to work. I tried to put in as much diversity as I could, but the internet is an unforgiving place. So let's jump right in. I am going to give you 10 items, both for men, starting with men, and then for women, that I would consider your staple items. So we will jump to the next slide. So that's me, by the way. Hi, everybody. That's what I look like. I look so helpful in this slide. So 10 must-have items. Build your best wardrobe. These are the go-to options for every, as I mentioned, body type, budget, and lifestyle. It does not matter what you are on the scale of any of those three things. These 10 items will work in your wardrobe. It is true for not only all of my clients with completely different backgrounds and body types, but also for my friends, for myself. It is really across the board. With that said, you should also remember that these are the foundation items. It is like building a house. You cannot build the first or the second floor without building the foundation first. So if you go out and you're like, oh my gosh, this shirt is so much fun, or, you know, I love this pattern. Well, that's all well and good. And those, I'm sure, are really cool items and really fun pieces, as you notice when you look at them. But unless you have the correct staple items, there is no way to piece an outfit together. You need the glue that holds it together, and they need to be quality items that fit you well. I do suggest spending a little bit more money on these particular items. I'm very big on the concept of cost per wear. And what that means is if you are going to wear it more, it should cost more. If you have an awesome button down that you buy and it's $300, you know, how many times are you going to wear that button down? Whereas if it's an amazing pair of shoes, and this goes for both men and women, you're going to be wearing those shoes more often. So if you figure out the cost per wear, i.e. how many times you wear them divided by how much it costs, you are going to figure out that it comes down to pennies in some situations. So that is important when budgeting. So let's jump right in for the men on this webinar, and even for the women, any men in your life, boyfriends, husbands, all of the above. This is really important for you as well, because you are typically their stylist, as I learn from working with clients. So this is the ultimate starter kit. Like I said, there is going to be 10 items that I would suggest, and I will break it down a little bit as far as budget, body type, and obviously, like I said, lifestyle. The item just shifts a little bit as far as what the item looks like based on your lifestyle. That is a really organized closet. I've never walked into a closet and had this few things in it and had it be this organized, but it's a nice wishful thinking type of closet. So let's go to the next slide here. And oh, I really wanted to mention, if anybody has questions throughout this entire webinar, I know it's stated that the questions would just be at the end, but that's not the way I roll. I like to have questions as I go. If you have a question about specifically what I'm talking about, please go ahead and ask away, because the more questions you ask, the better this webinar will be, because inevitably there is someone else who is also in this webinar, watching this and listening to this right now, that probably has some version of the same question that you have. So it will only make it better for everybody. So let's first touch upon some different body types. Nothing like a bunch of guys here that are in their underwear to show off body types, but it is the best way for you to really kind of identify with what your body type is. I also want to be clear, for both men and women, there's no such thing as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 body types. Like, it's not like you are one types. You're probably a mixture of different body types, but this is just the best way for me to kind of explain to you what's going on without trying to explain 30 different possible body types to you. But obviously, you know your body, you pick and choose kind of what works for you. Rectangle, very simply, is literally as it looks, straight up and down, kind of even between the shoulders and the hips. The triangle is just a little wider in the hips and maybe not as defined shoulders. Trapezoid is the wider shoulders with the smaller midsection. Oval, just as it is shown, is literally the middle is going to be a little bit bigger, and maybe your arms and legs are not as defined. An inverted triangle is just an extreme version of the trapezoid, which is super wide shoulders and a very small waist. And again, like I said, there is no right or wrong to any of these, and you're probably a combination of 2 to 3 of them. Next up. All right, so we're just going to jump into the 10 must-have items here, and I have a few per page, but we will go over each of them individually. So I'm going to start with the top left corner, and that is what I would call the fitted button down. There is an epidemic, we'll say, in the United States of most men buying their clothing too big. This is not flattering. It is also the easiest way to make you look juvenile, is the best word that I can give. When your clothing fits improperly, it makes you look not only sloppy, but it also very young. It's a very young thing to be dressing inappropriately in inappropriate sizes. I know a lot of men are uncomfortable and they'll say, this is too tight on me. And I'm like, it's not too tight on you. It fits you correctly. You're just not used to having anything touching your skin. I am not aiming to put you in skinny jeans. Don't worry. Take a step back. Everyone can calm down. No skinny jeans here, unless that's your thing, and more power to you. But what I am after, and this is for both men and women, is silhouette conscious clothing. That means I want to know you have a body. I want to see you have a body. I want to see that there is a shape. And as this shirt shows, it's fitting right across the shoulders. To know basically that anything fits you properly on a man, it has to fit in the shoulders. Everything else can be tailored, but fitting in the shoulders is proper. And it's the best way to start as far as figuring out whether this is the correct size for you. So as you can see, it breaks down to his arm directly at the end of his shoulder. That seam on the shoulder should be right at the edge of your shoulder. As far as what silhouette conscious means, it means that it skims the edge of your body, both on the sides, your stomach, your back. The different fits depend on your body type. There's the standard cut, which typically runs too big, but depending on your body type, this might actually be silhouette conscious for you. There's the sharp fit, which is going to be the most typical style that I suggest to men that are just starting to get into clothing that fits them properly, because it actually skims your body, but still gives you a little bit of leeway as far as being comfortable. And then there's the slim fit, which definitely is not for the faint of heart. It is showcasing the fact that you've been working out 5 days a week. The length of the shirt on the sleeves should be just where, if your thumb and your pointer finger are together, it should be to right where the crease is at the top. It should be, if you're wearing a super dressy shirt, i.e. something with cufflinks or a blazer, a suit over it, it should be a slight bit longer, just a tad bit longer, because you want to be able to see about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch of your shirt coming out from the end of where the blazer is, which should be slightly shorter, and we'll get to that. As far as the length of the shirt, for a casual shirt, you typically wear it untucked, and that's completely fine with me. Obviously, just like it's showing in this picture, and for lack of a better terminology, it needs to not be below your crotch. It needs to be above your crotch. This length is actually really good on this gentleman. For dressier shirts, you can be a little bit longer because they're going to be tucked in, but be wary of that. You don't want to be tucking in a dress. You want this to be not a ton of material, because again, we're trying to go with a sleeker look. So that is the goal of not having it be too long. And as far as the collar, honestly, that's up to you. This is a much smaller spread of a collar. You can go with a wider spread. The key, though, to making sure, again, a shirt fits is you should be able to button that top button. If you can't, your shirt is too small on you. Next up, we will go to the middle, and yes, that is an undershirt. And I am really serious about my undershirts. Essentially, if you can see your undershirt showing when you have on a button down, and you have that top button undone, you want to talk about looking juvenile, that is the fastest way to look juvenile. That is a style a la college. We're not trying to go back to Northeastern. We're trying to move forward. So I want to make sure that it is a V-neck. It doesn't need to be some crazy deep V-neck, but it definitely needs to be low enough that if you unbutton the top button of your button down, you do not see that you have an undershirt on. The other thing with an undershirt is, remember, it's the name, undershirt, meaning nobody can see this. It should be as fitted as possible. It is not a t-shirt, it is an undershirt. So it does need to be extremely body conscious, which I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback on, but bear with me on this. And the simplest way to say it is, do you want to add bulk to your body? Nobody's like, hey, I'd like to look fatter today. You want to look slimmer today. So adding extra material is not the direction you should be going in. Let's see, let's move along here to the suit. This is the color that I would be going with. It is a charcoal medium style gray. It is your seasonless. That means it can go in any season, no matter where you live. And if your goal is to buy one amazing suit, this is the color you should go with. It's a great neutral. It can go with pretty much any button-down shirt, any tie, not pretty much, literally any button-down shirt, any tie. This gentleman has it on with black shoes. I promote brown shoes, which I know is going to hurt a few of you people, but I describe basically brown shoes, and we'll get to that, as the way that you show people you are stylish, because black shoes are very out, they're very antiquated, and brown shoes are a more fashion forward way of presenting yourself, and brown shoes truthfully go with everything, and you will see that as we move forward. As far as the fit of the suit, there is no such thing as a cool pleated pant. Please stop the insanity. I need you to burn your pleated pants. You will never wear them again. They are never coming back in style. I don't need a cuff on the bottom of your pants. That's very like 1930s gangster style. That is not a thing unless it's Halloween. So we need to make sure that we are getting a nice flat front pant. 2 buttons is the maximum on a coat. On a suit jacket. 3 buttons, again, super antiquated. I can tell you bought that suit over 10 years ago if there's 3 buttons on it. And again, silhouette conscious. The lapel itself should be a little bit thinner. We don't want it to be too wide. On a tuxedo, you could go a little wider, but on a suit, you really want to keep it slim, because what it's doing is it is actually dictating kind of the width of your torso. So this is actually super important. Depending on how wide you are through the middle, depends on how wide your lapel is. The bigger torso that you have, the bigger your lapel should be. The smaller of a torso you have, the smaller your lapel should be. And you should definitely follow through on asking the guy who's tailoring your suit if it's the correct width for you. Very important stuff. Next slide, here we go. All right, so now we're talking pants, and we can start with that flat front slack on the left-hand side. This is in charcoal gray. You could definitely get them in any sort of gray or navy. I would not get black. I would start with gray or navy to begin with. They are the most useful colors. I will also say, and this is another epidemic I come across, men love to separate their suits out, meaning, okay, I don't have to wear a full suit today, I'll just wear the pants. Well, what happens is the wear and tear on the pants is happening much quicker than the jacket for the suit. Not only are you going to bust holes through the back of the pants, yes, I've seen that happen, but the color is going to fade, and then you don't have a suit anymore because the 2 pieces don't match. You need to buy slacks separately. Also, as you can see, flat front, there is no pleats. There is a single down the center, there is the single line going down the center, which is where it should fold very nicely. There should only be that one clean line. And when you put them on the hanger, you should hang them as such along the line that is folded. These also, as you can see, are a little shorter. Most men wear their pants too long. There should only be a single break. And a single break means, if you look at the bottom of this man's lovely pants, you can see on the a little on the left leg, but on the right leg specifically, that there is one bend in the fabric. There should not be 2 to 3 bends in the fabric. What it means is your pants are too long on you, and when there's that much bend on the fabric at the bottom, it's actually puffing out the pants on your leg. So again, you're making yourself look wider, and that is not the goal. The pockets are very flat and against his body, which is super nice because, again, sleek is the word of the day. And he's wearing amazing brown shoes and a brown belt. And as you can see very clearly, it goes very nicely with this gray option. It would also go very nicely with a navy option. To the right is our basic pair of jeans. This is obviously for casual life, but also in a lot of offices, you can do casual Friday. And this is the pair of jeans you want to go towards. We are not talking ratty, tattered, light blue, any sort of possible tears. We're talking very dark blue, a denser fabric. This has a little bit of a lighter stitching on it. A lot of times I promote people getting dark blue stitching on dark blue jeans. It just is a little bit dressier. You want to make sure, again, these are not skinny, but they're definitely silhouette conscious. And again, they have a single break at the bottom. Jeans can be a tad bit longer than suit pants. Suit pants, when you sit down, you should 100% be able to see your cool socks. Jeans, not as much. They should be a little bit longer, but this type of dark, simple style is really elegant and can work going, out to brunch for everyone that goes to brunch all the time, going on a date or going on to casual Friday at work. Any questions? I'm here, guys. I'm really ready. Unless I'm doing such a good job, you have all the information you need. So let's move forward here. All right, these men are so cool. The guy on the, and that's what you're going to be when I'm done. The guy on the left, the gentleman on the left, is wearing the casual blazer. I am obsessed with a casual blazer. You need to own at least one in your wardrobe. It is not necessarily something you're going to pull out every day, depending on what kind of office you work in. But this type of tweed blazer like this, and that's what I mean by casual, that it is not, you know, it's not a navy blazer with gold buttons. Like, I'm not trying to get you a sport coat per se. I'm trying to get you something that not only can work with a nice slack in the office with a button down for typical business casual, but also the dark jean it can go with. The dark jean is super important to go with this, and a button down. So this blazer has a life, you know, a life expectancy of 1 billion years because it can go with pretty much everything from casual to dressy. Again, 2 buttons. This one, I like that it has interesting pockets. He's thrown in a pocket square, you know, it even has a lapel pin. Go as crazy as you want to go. This is the time to shine. But at the end of the day, it really is just a simple gray tweed blazer. This is obviously more of a winter style or a fall style, and even into early spring because it's a thicker material. But I think that anyone that lives in a 4-season location should have one for colder weather and one for warmer weather. So you have 2 blazers specifically that you will be using. The other thing, the difference between a suit jacket and a blazer, and this is super important, is that they're shorter. You cannot wear a suit jacket as a blazer. I want you to be clear about my definitions. A blazer is something that you wear separately with, again, slacks or jeans. A suit jacket is something that's worn with a suit, hence the name of it. They are longer, they are bigger, they are only cut to go with suit pants. They look like you pulled a suit jacket and put it on with jeans if you do that. It looks inappropriate. It looks like it's against the rules and you shouldn't be doing it, and it doesn't fit properly. Blazers, a little bit shorter in the length, and they are a little bit shorter in the sleeve and typically a lot more interesting and cool. To the right is what I would call a go-to coat. Love, love, love that they have this inner lining that you can take in and out. That is something that I strongly promote with lots of my clients because then you get more use out of your jacket. When it gets colder, you put it in. When it gets warmer, you take it out. This is also a nice, sleek wool jacket that can, again, be worn to work or casually. I'm not aiming for you to own a million things. I'm aiming for you to own the right things. This has a lot of, this has a lot of personality for what some men are used to with the zipper on the top pocket. If you took away that top pocket and you just had the bottom pocket, essentially it's just a basic fitted jacket. And it's something that most men could, not most men, really, you could wear this anywhere because it's casual enough that you could dress it up or dress it down. Leaving in that insert, the puffy part on the inside will definitely make it look a little bit more casual, but you can wear it to anything. Let's go on to the next slide. English leather shoes, super important. They go with everything. You could go brown. I personally go this English leather route because it's a nice, interesting color that literally you can mix and match with black, brown, navy, gray. It goes with every single thing. So I know it's a little bit of a funkier color if you're not used to it, but it pairs with everything, and that's why I always promote it as the color to go to. Below that is the reversible work belt. I know I said don't really use black, but it's nice to have it there just in case. I'm big on a reversible belt. You get one and done. And the brown color, even if it's a darker brown, will go with the English leather. People get nervous about matching things. Don't even worry about it. That's close enough underneath the same umbrella of color that it actually works. To the right, ties and socks go hand in hand for me. They're one item in our 10 must-have items. This is a way to showcase your personality. You don't need to be super crazy. You can be more subtle, but definitely put something in. Put your stamp on your outfit. Girls have a lot more flexibility with what to choose. Men sometimes are more uniform. Like, this is a way to have some fun. If you're going to do a super bold sock, do a subtle tie and vice versa. Subtle tie, bold sock, have some fun. So now I have 4 different types of men, and I just want you to understand, basically, no matter what world you live in or whatever you associate with personality-wise, you can pull in any of these 10 items. And all of the images that I chose have at least one of the staple items in it. So first we have corporate conservative, and this is for a much more basically conservative office, as is suggested. Structured pieces, crisp button-downs, cufflinks, which I'm a big fan of. Again, it goes with the socks and ties. You can build a collection and make it personal to you. Oxford shoes, which is the lace-up shoe that he has on. And a briefcase never hurt if you're going to a super conservative office. And obviously, this is a nice tailored charcoal suit with the crisp button down and the shoes. I'm showcasing everything in this look. Next one is classic and clean. And this is for the pretty straightforward office. Fitted button downs, dark solid slacks, and that's the gray or the navy I discussed. Neutral colors, you don't want to go too bold if you're super classic. Simple patterns, and less layering. So as it shows, it is as simple as a button down, great slacks, good shoes, and a belt. It doesn't need to be more necessarily, it needs to fit properly, and that's what's going on here. It's a great fit. Trendy and edgy. Mixing patterns, lots of layering, skinny ties, cardigans, fun socks and ties. This is not for the faint of heart. I'm pushing you on this. Definitely try things out. Try to be, you want to be yourself, but you want to try out some new different trends that are happening and being a little more fashion forward. This gentleman is obviously pulling in a lot of what we did from the image on the right, which he has on not only our winter coat, but also our charcoal suit, the brown shoes, and simple, straightforward, flat front slacks, but obviously he's doing it in a very funky way. I mean, the image on the left, the guy is rolling his pants up. You don't necessarily need to do that, but you can see how it could be really pushing the fashion envelope, even using the items I discussed. And finally, if you're rugged and outdoorsy, we want plaid anything, dark jeans, textured blazers, brown shoes, and chunky knits. This gentleman, again, is ready for the office, but I want you to be able to showcase your personality no matter where you're going. Even if you're going to the office, that doesn't mean you need to have a uniform that you don't feel like yourself in, and that is the point of all of this. So definitely go stronger on the plaids, as you can see is in his button down. He has on the textured blazer that I showcased before and a dark blue jean with the brown shoes. It's all in the way you envision yourself as far as what you think your blazer is. Your blazer should represent you. If you're a little funkier, go a little funkier. If you're a little more conservative, go a little more conservative. Just make sure that it is representative of you and your personality. So that actually rounds it up for the men today. If any of you men on here have any questions for me, please let me know. Otherwise, I am going to move forward. And please, if any of you women have questions about the men's stuff, please let me know. I am going to go on to, we're getting into the women's stuff. Ladies, we're ready for you. And this is obviously the women's wardrobe, the ultimate starter kit. And again, I've never walked into a closet and seen it look like this, but wishful thinking is a beautiful thing. So let's move forward. And we're going to talk about body shapes. Obviously with women, you're getting a lot more body shape options. It's not that we have any more body shapes than the men. The difference is that we actually wear our clothing much more fitted. So our shape matters. You ladies know, you gain 5 pounds and you're like, why does nothing fit in my entire wardrobe? Meanwhile, a guy can gain 5 pounds and nobody is any of the wiser. You have absolutely no idea that this guy has gained 5 pounds. It's a super fun element of being a woman and having to have a lot of different things in your wardrobe. On that note, I should definitely say, every client I've ever met is like, oh, well, when I lose 5 pounds, and I'm like, yeah, this is every woman. So you have to own it and understand that you really should own sizes that are where you're at for now. If you lost weight or gained weight and it was, I say 2 years ago, it's time to get rid of all that stuff. Stop holding on to these items that are not representative of your current size. For expensive things, you can save a few pieces, but you definitely don't need to keep full wardrobes for 20 pounds up or 20 pounds down. You're only stifling yourself mentally when you're trying to get dressed in the morning because it's so overwhelming because there's so much stuff in there. So let's see. Interview clothing when it's freezing out. I'm jumping in because I actually saw a good question just now about what to wear when it's freezing outside and you're going for an interview. The truth is that a lot of the items that I'm about to discuss coming up are going to showcase things that you can wear. The number one thing I'm going to say to you about freaking freezing and dressing appropriately, and I live in New York City, so I'm all too familiar with this and with my clients, is that your amazing carry-all bag, which we will discuss, should have room for a pair of high heels in it. You are not going to be roaming down the street wearing high heels, going to an interview, and there's crap on the ground and you ruin your beautiful shoes. You're going to have some sort of, I call it a snow boot, but some sort of boot that has a wider top that you can kind of put your pants in. If you're wearing pants, because you can definitely wear pants to an interview. If you're wearing a dress, you're just going to have a taller boot up to the knee and a longer coat down to the knee, and you're really just switching out your shoes. If you choose to wear a dress, sometimes I suggest wearing 2 pairs of tights, not just one. Not only is it way warmer, it definitely does not add bulk. Not only is it way warmer, but it sucks you in the middle twice as much. So it's acting like double Spanx, which I'm a huge fan of. So you will see some of these items, and my suggestions that I just gave will definitely play into that. So let's move forward to these 10 items. So top item, top left corner here is a pencil skirt. I don't care if it's black, I don't care if it's dark gray. I would say those are the 2 main colors. Navy, although awesome, is not your basic starter kit. It's harder to pair with things. So the key to why this skirt looks good, and I know a lot of women who maybe are above a size 8 are like, I can't wear that. Pencil skirts would never look good on me. They're too tight. The beauty of it is that there's actually an illusion of creating a waist with a pencil skirt because you want it to be higher up. It should be just at your belly button, which is the smallest part of almost any woman's body, no matter what her body type. And if you see on this pencil skirt, there's a thicker band on it. And that's really what's giving you the illusion of creating a waist. Something that's super interesting that people are always surprised by is that really all fashion is an illusion. It's all about tricking people's minds. They don't understand why it works good, but there are all different tricks and tips as to why someone looks at you and goes, oh, that looks great. Well, this is one of them. You're actually creating a waist through the stitching and creation of the skirt. Also, pencil skirts, super important. They should be penciled at the bottom, fitted around your knees. They should come just above your knee, typically if you are 5'7" and under. If you're over 5'7", you can get away with a little more length, like just below the knee at most if you're a hater of your knees, which I run into that sometimes with clients. But the key is it has to be penciled and fitted all the way down. A lot of times my clients are like, oh, this is too tight. And again, I promote it fits correctly. It is just uncomfortable because it's not as loose as you are used to. If you put on a pencil skirt that is too loose, it is going to make you look bigger. It needs to be penciled all the way down. If you have, this is a big if, and it's also a great styling tip. If your middle section is not where you want it to be, meaning you happen to be a little bit rounder in the middle, you can wear a blouse untucked. It should be a shorter blouse untucked to cover just literally the top of your stomach area. And you put a thin belt over your waist. So now you're covering your stomach, but you're creating a waist with a thin belt. If you are confused by that, certainly ask me a question, but hopefully that comes through clearly. The next item is a simple black sheath dress. This is the end all be all for every single wardrobe of every woman that I've ever worked with. Even though this particular woman is standing here in nothing but a little black dress, that's not necessarily how you're going to use it. You have to think of it as a layering piece, meaning I can layer blazers over it. I can layer cardigans over it. I could put a button down underneath it. I could keep going and going and going. I could wear high heels. I could wear knee-high boots. Like, there's a million different things and a million different ways you can style this. You could even wear your little black dress if you put on a sassy pair of heels and beautiful earrings to like a holiday party. I mean, there's 9 million different ways that you can get a great cost per wear out of this particular item. The reason I like this item is it's a nice scoop neck, and that also known as a crew neck. That's really your best option. V-necks, although lovely, tend to be more difficult when layering. They get a bit confusing when you put things over them. This is more simple. And if you look closely, you can see the ruching through the middle of this dress. Ruching is essentially folds in the fabric. That's the best way to describe it. And what it does is two folds, pun intended. It basically creates a waist okay, because it's cinched all the way through the middle. As you can see, there's more ruching in through the middle because it's coming from the side on this dress. And it covers up the stomach area, which typically is the most uncomfortable spot in most women that I work with. So even though you would think, oh, that's adding material, no, what it's doing is creating an illusion so you can't see any sort of ripples, if you will, that are happening under the dress. Again, knee length is the best option, and I would go with sleeveless even if you're chilly because it allows for the most options for layering. If you're a freezing person, go ahead and get a longer sleeve. Just make sure it's not too thick that you can't put things over it, because otherwise you lose the stylability of this piece. Next up, we have the simple black blazer, and it is literally as it is described. I want one button. This happens to have a hook, one hook, maybe two at most. It should come just below your waist. I don't want it to be long, i.e. hitting at your hips. I want it to be above your hips, below your belly button. The reason why is this jacket can have double duty. It should be able to be worn with a dress or a skirt, so therefore it has to be a little shorter to define your waist. And this one is great because where the closure is right at your belly button, and so it is creating that waist by having the closure there. If it's too long, it's going to drag you down and you're going to have no middle. The goal of any outfit, and this is an important takeaway, is to have you have an hourglass figure. An hourglass figure is literally just created by what you wear. Even if you don't have one, it does not matter. This jacket is creating that hourglass figure because it is creating a middle. And that's what I mean by creating an hourglass figure. With pants, the key for this piece is it needs to be just long enough that it covers the top of your pants. The jacket should not be so short that your shirt is, even if it's tucked in, is popping out the bottom, or that I see the top of the pants. So again, it needs to be just long enough that it covers the top of the pants, and it needs to be just short enough that it's creating a nice waist, whether you're wearing a dress or a skirt. Okay, on to the next here. All right, I love this bag. Super simple, Kate Spade. It's a gray carry-all. I know everyone feels like they need a black bag. You don't. I mean, you can have one. I have plenty of black bags, but a neutral bag does not necessarily mean black, and that's something super important. Gray is a great color. Eggplant is a great color. A deep forest green is a great color. These are all amazing neutral colors that really will go with everything. You'd be surprised. Trust me on this. Camel is another great color. The goal is to have it be simple. Don't have it have too many bells and whistles, too much hardware, crazy chains, or things like that. You want it to be simple. And as far as the size, this is really personal. If you're 5 feet tall, a quote unquote typical medium-sized toe is going to look like a large toe on you. And if you're 6 feet tall, same goes in the other direction. You need to make sure it's medium-sized for you. And I usually say medium-sized because that's typically what most women end up finding functional. But the number one thing of this bag is function. Think about what you use your bag for. I don't talk to clients about style. I talk to them about function, and then it jumps into style. Do you carry a laptop every day? Do you have a large notebook? Do you carry files? What are the that you realistically need every day? And if you want to be, you're like, oh, but I always lose all of my personal stuff, buy a cool little makeup bag and put all your personal stuff, be it a wallet or your makeup or hair stuff, whatever it may be, in this one bag. So now you can just grab for the one little makeup bag inside of your tote, so everything doesn't get lost. And this is the bag, as I was explaining, that you wear that you'll throw your shoes in if it's freezing out. I believe, just see a question. Michelle, do you mind reading that question to me, because I'm trying to determine where the question went.
Absolutely.
It popped off my screen too quickly.
Can you share what brand this dress is? Is the blazer the
Michelle's looking.
brand?
While Michelle's looking, I'm going to keep talking about this. The bag specifically. One strap or two doesn't matter to me. I will say that 2 straps, the positive is that it's easier to kind of open and shove things in and close it. The bag will stay more structured, so the top of the bag is easier to get things in and out of. The second strap sometimes falls off your shoulder. With one strap, though, the top of the bag tends to close up a little. So if you do have to be putting things like a laptop in all the time, it's going to get kind of annoying because you're shoveling the laptop in there and trying to open the bag awkwardly, if you will.
And Amy,
Michelle, jump in whenever
yes, got the
you
question.
find that last question that someone did pose to me. Next thing in the middle, nude high heels. For the winter months, black high heels will work. That would be your winter version of this. But a nude high heel is something that every single client owns, and nude is all relative to you. Whatever your skin tone is, it should match your skin tone. So obviously, this woman is a more pale Caucasian woman, so that's what I'm going for. Can I share what brand this dress is? Yes, it is Calvin Klein, and actually Calvin Klein does a great sheath dress, and the beauty of it is it's a little bit stretchy, which is comfortable, but also it's a little bit thicker, and that's something that you should think about. Basically, if you're not a size 0 or a size 2, you want the material to be a little forgiving. Who wants to walk around and be like, oh my God, I feel like I need to suck it in all day? That is awful. So you want to get a fabric that's a little denser, and that will be your friend, basically. And Calvin Klein does a bunch of those. So does T by Tahari, which is, these are all reasonable price points that I'm suggesting. Ellie Tahari, it's their lesser line, as I call it. Ellie Tahari is super, super expensive. T by Tahari is the line right below it, and they do a great business casual line. You can find it at lordandtaylor.com, actually. Let's see, or Lord & Taylor itself, if there's one near you. So nude high heels, it's just the end all be all. It goes with every single thing, no matter what the color. Again, nude matches your skin tone. So nude, it is all relative to basically who you are. Black high heels, same thing, would go depending for winter, I should say, and they go with black tights, which is something you will have on your legs, as it is freaking freezing out here in the Northeast. If you're somewhere else and you can still go bare leg in the winter, definitely go for that. So someone just asked, what bag would I suggest for a carry-all for every day? And honestly, I showed this Kate Spade bag because I would go for Kate Spade. A decent quality bag that you are going to use every day should cost you probably, and I don't want anyone to be scared depending on what budgets you're used to, but between $200 to $300. Actually, I'm going to say $200 to $400 because you want to get something that's quality. Again, cost per wear. You are wearing this bag every single day and beating it up and throwing it around. I like to say your bag is the cherry on top of the sundae of your outfit. If you have a great outfit on and then you throw on a beat up bag, you just ruined all the hard work you just put into getting dressed that morning. So you want a bag that really is decent quality. And you can certainly find a lot of these bags like NordstromRack.com, great place to find good quality, good brand bags, Kate Spade specifically, at a quarter of the price point. Super, super important. I love saving money. I'm a big advocate, but I don't like giving up on quality when I save money. So that is important. Let's see. All right, moving up to this tank top here. Just like the men's undershirt, this is something that everyone should have for layering underneath. You can get cotton. I actually usually promote getting Lycra, which sounds viciously awful. I understand. No one's like, hey, I love to wear Lycra. That sounds amazing. But there's a reason. This is acting like a compression garment, like Spanx, without actually being Spanx. All it does is smooth you out underneath your clothing. And a lot of times designers are stupid and the clothing is a little bit see-through. This is a way to have people not looking at your undergarments all day, basically. So you should buy both in black and white layering tees. I like that this one's a little bit longer. You can definitely go, I love this question. All right, so sorry, I was reading a question, but you can definitely go with something a little longer. So if the shirt is a little bit shorter, this is more in casual life, your tank top can be the length. You give the illusion of length by pulling out the tank top on the bottom. In the business world, you're not really gonna do that as much. The tank should definitely be tucked in most of the time. So I just got an amazing question, which I love because I think it's a problem that a lot of women come across, and that is hosiery. It is freezing out. You don't necessarily want to wear opaque black tights, which keep you a little bit warmer than the average garment. What do you wear if you want to have nude legs? My suggestion is always very simple. It's a two-part process in the winter time. You can take off the bottom layer as it gets warmer out. But again, I don't want you to be scared or be shocked, but nude fishnets are the way to go. The smaller the holes, the better. The larger the holes, the more cheeky it gets is the best way to put it. But a nude fishnet, you literally, if it's the same color as your skin, which is the goal, again, nude means whatever color you actually are, your skin actually is. The nude should be really bare. So from far away, you can't see anything. It literally just looks like you have nude legs. As you get closer and closer and closer to you, it's like, oh my God, it's like a little surprise, a little bit of sexiness without being too overt, which is a sheer, very nude color, very small hole, nude fishnet. Now, the thing that keeps you warm, because obviously there's holes in fishnets, is I put on a pair of thicker, also nude stockings. Like, go to the drugstore and buy a pair. I don't care if they're the $3 kind that they rip every time you wear them, because you're only wearing them as a layering piece to put underneath the nude fishnets and block the wind from going through and killing your poor, sad little legs. So that is my suggestion for a way to keep yourself looking nude without actually being nude on your legs. Hopefully that helped in that arena. So next slide, here we go, we're jumping in. So the cardigans, these two, the longer and the shorter, that's considered one category, although I do suggest buying both because they create two different body types, if you will. So on the left, we have the longer cardigan. It's a little bit more casual if you work in an office that's a lot more structured and people are more on the suiting side of life. A longer cardigan maybe is just for Friday, but in most places, as long as it's this sleek cardigan, this sleek fit, you don't want it to be chunky. You want it to be silhouette conscious and fairly thin. It is usually appropriate. The beauty of this, again, let's get back to the hourglass shape. As you can see on this particular model, she has on a white top and black pants, creating a waist. So even though we have a longer cardigan that's kind of drowning out her middle section, she has created a waist by doing the color blocking in the middle. Even if you were to wear a solid color underneath, like a black top with black pants or a black sheath dress, for example, if you wear a longer necklace that the longest charm is kind of just above your belly button, you actually are creating a waist as well, just using a necklace to create that waist. There's a lot of different ways to play around. Of course, black, gray, cream, all lovely, but this is that lovely purpley, almost, I guess it's kind of more of a burgundy color that I consider it's a pop of color, but it's still neutral enough that you can use it a bunch. The cream cardigan to the right side, love the button detailing. It's a little playful, again, very classic, very cute. That depends on your personality, but I love a cream. It is the winter neutral. Obviously black is too, but cream winter white is a great neutral as well. This one hits her perfectly at her waist. So it is just long enough for these pants, but really the purpose is going, okay, got another question. If I pause, that's because I'm reading and I'm almost good at doing two things at once. So the shorter cardigan you want to wear mostly with dresses and skirts, and it is creating that waist. The question I just got is, does the longer length work on everybody? And the short answer of your long question, I'm so funny to myself, is yes, it does. The important factor is how long is the cardigan. If you're a more petite woman, you can't wear a super duper long cardigan, kind of like you can't wear a longer hemline, because you're going to swallow yourself. You're going to drown in your clothing and we can't even see you. Mid-thigh is usually the best length for most women, no matter what their height. As you get taller, you can make your sweater go a little bit longer. There are a lot of the style, one of the big styles right now is these longer cardigans that literally go all the way below your knee. It's a nice thought. It's pretty elegant, but I get really crazy about it showing outside of your coat. Like when you put a coat on, I shouldn't see your outfit hanging out from below, like your top layer is hanging out from below. That just makes me nuts. That's a personal thing. It looks sloppy, so I wouldn't do that. Hopefully that answered your question. The last thing on this page is this gorgeous white shell. I would say white or black. I would actually have both. And this basic shell will be worn nonstop. When you're having a day where you wake up and you're like, oh, I don't know what to wear, all of these pieces can be easily mixed together without, again, your head exploding. And a white shell or a black shell will go underneath everything. Every blazer, every sweater, it doesn't matter. This will go under. So it's the perfect layering piece. For a laptop. So any brand suggestion for a laptop bag? I'm not sure how to answer that actually, because I'm wondering, is this for men or women? And the truth is, laptop bag to me is way too specific, meaning are you looking for a sleeve to put your laptop in a proper tote bag, actually you should be fine with just sliding your laptop in there. I mean, I don't know what you're doing throughout the day, but your laptop should be pretty darn safe if you put it in one of those little padded envelope laptop holder type things. You don't necessarily need a laptop bag, and truthfully, that limits you as far as purchasing things and takes away a lot of the style options that you might have. So I would look for something that fits your laptop, not necessarily that's in the category of laptop bag. Okay, so here we go. Bottom halves. Again, dark jeans. I want skinny straight. It does the duty of two things. If you look at the knee, it is nice and fitted and tight around the knee, and then it flares a little bit into straight leg at the bottom. That means that you can put on a pair of knee-high boots over your jeans and tuck them in. As soon as your jeans get loose around the knee, you end up with that awful baggy knee thing when you try and put your jeans into your boots and they look like gaucho pants. And I'm telling you ladies right now, gaucho pants are not in style. They're never going to be in style. So let's veer away from that. Make sure your jeans are fitted all the way down through your knee, no matter what your size. I'm telling you, this is the best silhouette for you. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't feel comfortable. It's showcasing my body too much. Well, then you wear a higher boot, you wear a longer cardigan to cover up maybe the spots of your body that you're not as comfortable with. There is different styling options you can do based on body type, but the fit itself should definitely be skinny. Okay, so I just got a message that one of the people on here can never find jeans that are tight enough around your knee. You're not shopping in the right places, girl. The key, I'm not sure where you're shopping, but I'm going to throw this out there, is that you have to buy more expensive jeans. If you are shopping and buying jeans at Kohl's, first off, they're not going to last. They're going to stretch out. You have to wash them every time you wear them because they're stretched out. That's not the way jeans should fit. You're going to end up with a drawer full of jeans, and this is most people. They're like, I have 10 pairs of jeans, but I don't like these because of this, and I don't like these because of this. Let's do a cost per wear analysis. If you own 3 pairs of jeans that cost you, don't die right now, ladies, but that cost you about $150 to $200 each, that still is less money than buying 10 pairs of, $50 to $100 jeans. And they fit properly, and you only wash them because they're dirty, not because they're falling off of you. The J brand Maria are not only skinny, super skinny all the way down. They're not skinny straight. They're super skinny, but they are high-waisted. I am so happy that high-waisted is in, ladies. It comes just below your belly button. It holds everything in. You don't get that gorgeous muffin top that is so much fun. It literally comes up higher and above. The other thing is, if you're more of a plus-size gal, Not Your Daughter's jeans are amazing. Let's see. So I would do, so what this person is saying is that she does buy expensive jeans and she still has the trouble of them gapping at the knees. I'm telling you, J brand Maria jeans are as skinny can get. J brand in general actually does a phenomenal skinny jean, and that would be, I think, your best option for that problem. For the best skinny straight jeans, like is showing on this model right here, DL, D as in Dan, L as in love, 1961, are great for the skinny straight, and cutting at the ankle is the best silhouette, as you can see on the black pants here too. No matter what your shape, no matter what your height, cutting at your ankle is not only the most flattering, but it allows you to wear any size heel. You could wear a flat, you could wear a sneaker, you could wear a high heel. You don't have to hem your jeans or your pants to match, the size heel that you're putting on, which is such a relief because that is so obnoxious and limits your styling potential. Moving on to the black pants over here. Again, they almost fit just like the jeans. They're very slender. They're ankle length. They should be skinny straight, fitted all the way down. You can give a little bit more leeway in the thigh than you do in the jean, but they definitely should be basic as basic can be because you want to be able to wear them with everything. No matter what your size, no matter what your lifestyle or your budget, a skinny black pant is important. In my life, as an example, because obviously I'm not working at an office and I'm able to be funky because my job permits it, my black ankle pants are tuxedo pants. They have a stripe down the side. They're kind of edgy, but they still, in general, are black ankle pants. Let's go on to the next one here. So our 4 types of women, if you will: creative, conservative. This is obviously super creative, this slide, but I just loved her outfit so much. It's just a basic black suit. It's the underpinning that is making it so interesting. If she put on just a basic white button down, it would literally be a black suit with a white button down. The white heel is obviously taking it over the edge too. But really it's the shirt that's throwing it over the top, and that's what brings in the creative part. So creative conservative, structured style, suits, suit separates, which is like blazers and ankle pants and pencil skirts, darted button downs, meaning I want them to fit. Silky is great, but I want them to fit properly. The darts going up just below your each breast is really the best way to describe it, is what's going to keep it fitted and structured to your body type. The boxy bag as opposed to a slouchy bag like the Kate Spade bag I showed you, and pumps are the best way to describe creative conservative. And this is more for an office, but with a lot of my female clients, that work in finance, for example, which is a male-dominated world. They're high up. They're the only woman that's, in their group. I always say to them, you're not meant to dress like a man. Like a lot of times they come to me and they're in these super boxy suits. You're not supposed to look like a man. You're supposed to look like a female who's in power. And the whole point of that is doing the structured style, but making sure you don't lose your femininity. That is super important, and showcasing your personality. Make sure that comes through when you're getting dressed. See, next slide. Classically cute. So this is defined by more elegant jewelry, cardigans, round-toed shoes, and I'll explain that in a second, sheath dresses, thin belts, brooches. So let me go back up to the round-toe shoe because this is important. I talked about your 10 items. One of them is either, a black or a nude pump. Basically, pointed toe, you can go pointed around, doesn't matter to me, but let me explain the difference. Pointed toe equals vampy, sophisticated, sassy. Round toe equals sweet, classic, cute, all of the things that go underneath classically cute. So depending on who you are, literally a pointed toe or a round toe kind of helps to define your personality immediately in your outfit. And just by switching out your shoe from pointed to a round toe will change the entire look of your outfit. Obviously, this outfit is using not only the cardigan, but also the sheath dress and the nude pump, but it's styled in a very sweet way. You can think about, this is actually Ann Taylor Loft. Someone just asked what designer brand this is. This is Ann Taylor Loft, another place that I'm okay with you shopping there, but be wary of buying entire outfits from there, from head to toe. Unfortunately, it's a little pricey for the quality. I actually don't love any of the sweaters there and Banana Republic, because they wear out really, really quickly. Kind of the rayon fabric, it's not all that useful. Along the edges, like it almost looks like the elastic band that's too stretched out after 1 year of wearing it. I don't want that. Spend a little bit more. Do maybe Lord & Taylor cashmere brand, which is fairly inexpensive but decent quality, actually good quality, and you will be better off. But this style itself is definitely pulling from the Ann Taylor Loft site, and that's where this came from. And as far as brooches go, pull out your mom's brooches, your grandmother's brooches, things that you're like, oh, that's my grandmother's, but you never wear it. Why not? Put it on like a nice waist length blazer. You could even put it on your cardigan as long as you pin it to the dress as well, because it'll obviously be too heavy to be just hanging out on the cardigan. Let's go to the next slide. So funky fun. This is very much so where I lie most of the time. And also, you're never just one of these things. Mix and match all of these things. Your personality could be like, one day you feel like being classically cute. The next day you feel like being funky fun. Maybe you want to mix the two together. This isn't an either or. This could be whatever you want to be. So mixing textures and patterns, cool color combinations, metallic accents, fabulous shoes, and statement jewelry. This lady's outfit in particular, she has on a very patterned pant, but for a lot of the world, depending on what office you work at, this is a neutral patterned pant. It's actually a houndstooth. I know you can't possibly see it up that close, but I know it's a houndstooth, which means it's just a basic black and white pattern. So as long as you pair it with other solids, it can pretty much go with anything. This underneath is your classic black shell, which I showed you as one of the 10 items. And instead of wearing a normal just black high heel, she's doing this little ankle booty. It's winter, so obviously you don't want your toes hanging out unless you're in LA, but you can do just a nice little ankle booty. The hemline on these pants is very short for most offices. I would go a little bit longer. I think your hemline should really hit just above your ankle bone or just at the middle of your ankle bone to be the most appropriate. And the last thing we have here, we have bohemian trendy, and that goes for earthy colors, movable materials, chunky jewelry, textured tights, oversized bags, and longer scarves. Just because you're a bohemian in your casual life doesn't mean you can't bring that into the workplace. This jacket, instead of a structured blazer, this jacket has a little bit of structure, but it's really kind of flowy and interesting and different. And that necklace, the jewelry is everything with bohemian trendy. Excuse me. You want to pull out your jewelry, that's what showcases your personality, no matter what style you are. I always say I can figure out a person when I go into a new closet just by looking at their jewelry. I can tell you everything about their personality. Large stones, chunky, fun, earthy. Pull out that turquoise jewelry that you think you can't wear to the office. Yes, you can. You just have to keep the rest of your outfit a little more muted. But this still is pulling out the basic black ankle pants and funky, edgy jewelry. And obviously she's doing a little ankle boot. You could always do a black patent leather pump as well with this to make it a little more office friendly. So we're coming to the end here, and I would love to get any and all questions that you have. While I'm answering questions, I wanted you guys to be able to, oh, I love this question. Okay, I wanted you to be able to take home 10 styling tips. You just need to go to sassandstyle.com and basically /Northeastern alumni, and you will get my tailoring tips. I'll get to the online styling in a second. Michelle, would you send over that? Oh, Stitch Fix. Okay. So I'm going to answer 2 questions right now. What do I think about Stitch Fix and all of these like mail, you talk to a stylist on the phone and they send you clothing. I have such mixed emotions. What I can tell you is that you're getting what you pay for, meaning you're not paying that much for this to talk to a stylist. They use the term stylist very lightly. It's essentially like a girl, and no shame in it. But basically, they're essentially a girl out of college. It's usually a first job. They're following a survey that's been created for them, and there's not as much knowledge behind what they're doing. So they're doing the best they can with the information that they've been given to follow in order to put together a box for you. What I can tell you is that I've had a lot of different people, including clients, sign up for Stitch Fix. It's fun for them for about 3 months before they realize most of the clothing they end up sending back because it doesn't really work for them. And I think that's really the Stitch Fix model, is they probably assume you're going to keep 1 to 2 of the 10 items. And for them, mathematically, that actually works out that they're still making a bunch of money. So I think that it's a nice idea in theory if you don't like to leave your home and you like the store to come to you, but don't expect miracles. Again, you get what you pay for. Another question I got was, what do you think about tailoring expensive clothing? I'll just tell you what I think about tailoring in general. Well, first off, if it's like Ann Taylor or Banana Republic or something, yeah, don't tailor that. You could take the money that you would spend on tailoring and just go and buy new clothing. It would be better as far as cost goes. But as far as expensive clothing, and that would be kind of contemporary level and above, meaning think like DVF or think Theory, that level, I do think there is extreme value in it. But again, you can't tailor something down 2 sizes. If you lost 5 pounds, go crazy and tailor it. If you lost 10, you really should be questioning how much you can actually tailor the item, especially if it's structured. But I think tailoring is so important, and it is a way to give a longer lifespan to what you own. Another question I got was the Skype interview. What do you wear for the Skype interview? Well, the short answer is your pajama bottoms and slippers and something much nicer on the top half. I do think that no matter what you wear to any interview. Oh, I was going to put on my video for you guys. Let me start some video. Okay, so you can see my face. Hi, everybody. So no matter what you wear to an interview, it really is who's your audience, like who are you talking to at this interview, and what job are you applying for? And then that kind of dictates what you can wear. Don't think just because you're on a Skype interview, it should be more casual. What I can say is you don't need to have on a full suit while you're sitting there, but maybe a nice blazer with an interesting pop of color underneath. Have some flexibility within the shirt to be a little bit more creative if it's a Skype interview. Honestly, even in a real person interview, if you're going into the office, you want to wear maybe one thing that really highlights your personality and has the person remembering you, not in a like, what the hell did this person have on way, but in a way that's like, wow, that really made an impression on me. And honestly, that's how you should dress every day, is you want people to remember you for the good things, not for the overly done type of things, or it doesn't fit properly type of things. I'm glad people are saying that they got some good pointers. I'm really excited about that. I'm really happy that you guys are getting takeaways. So really important, Sass and Style, if you follow me, I do blogs at sassandstyle.com. I just did a post for the best outfits for Christmas. Whether you are all dressy or want to wear something that's pajama chic because you're eating your way through house and home like me. Also, online styling services. I am here for you personally, no matter where you live in the world. I work with people at home, closet consultations. I do shopping with them online. I do styling, so you can get all of what I talked about, but personally, obviously catered to you and your needs. And you can contact me at info@Amy Salinger, that's me, .net, and I am happy to chit chat with you a little more in depth about what's going on. And I do have a holiday special right now, an exclusive happening until December 24th. If you're interested in that, that's December 24th of this year, 2017. So other than that, if anyone has more questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But again, at Sass and Style, sassandstyle.com, you can get tons and tons and tons of tips. And I have a YouTube page that's Amy Salinger, Sass and Style, that you can get a lot of how-to videos. So that should be it. And I hope everyone is going to have a fabulous holiday season. And it was so great being able to participate with Northeastern and the alumni program. Go Huskies.
Amy, thank you so much. I love your sense of humor as well as the fabulous information and boiling down what could be hours of information into a short period of time. And the visuals really help us to understand what we should be looking for. So I just love your energy as well as your expertise and for making this topic a lot of fun. So we really appreciate your involvement as an alum and this great information. So now I think we all need to go shopping if we weren't already in that mode at this time of year. Just a quick plug for an upcoming webinar on January 17th. It's going to be probable promotions in the new year, and that's going to be with alumna Roberta Matchison, and you'll be getting more information about that. So thanks again to Amy. Thanks again to the audience for fabulous questions. So we covered a lot of material. So thank you for joining us, and best wishes for the holiday season, everybody. Thanks again, Amy.